For the first couple lessons, we've been talking about whole numbers. Today, we're going to the dark side. We're talking about decimals. Now, our number system is based on the number 10. That's why when you count to 10 and you go to 11, it's kind of like we start over again. Digits 1 through 9 go to 10, and then we start again 1 through 9, etc., and on it goes. But did you know that we have another side to our whole numbers called decimals? Here's an example of a decimal. So here's our decimal right here. When you make a decimal, make a real decimal. It's not a period. Like, this is not language arts. This is math. Make your decimal. So, nice big decimal. So here we have 127. Those are our whole numbers. So those you already know. Hundreds, tens, ones. Decimal. What's going on over here? That's the dark side. So we have another work mat in our MyMath book for that. And it is again at the back of your MyMath book. Here it is. So it shows you your ones. There's the decimal. Now, see that little tiny decimal there? That doesn't work for me. Let's fix that. There we go. That, my friends, is a decimal. So on the dark side, we have tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So this is the only time where you're allowed to stick your tongue out at your teacher. So go ahead and do that. You know that with whole numbers, every time we move up in place value, it increases by 10 times as much. Similarly, when we move down in our place value, it reduces by 10 times. Same thing with decimals. So decimals are really fractions. 1/10, 1/100th, 1,000th. So decimals are fractions, special fractions, where the denominator, the bottom number of the fraction, is a multiple of 10, 10, 100, 1,000, etc. In 5th grade, we only go to the thousandths, but this does carry on. And as it carries on, things get 10 times smaller each place value you go. So we can measure things very, very, very tiny, which is very important for science when we're sometimes measuring things that are so tiny that whole numbers will not do. So we have to move into the decimal realm. So you will use this place mat a lot. Okay, so when we are looking at decimals, we start off with models. And a model is a little tiny chart that you can shade to show your decimal. Now, also in your MyMath book are work mat number 5, which shows you the different models. Now, each square represents one whole number, 1. So we've divided up the squares. Here you can see, in these ones, we've divided them into 10. That means each row here is a 10th. However, up here, you can see we've divided them into far more. How many do you think? Anyone? Anyone? There are 100 little squares. So I can use these to actually show a decimal. Let's say I wanted to show 7/10. I would probably pick one of these and I would shade in 7 rows, and that would be 7/10. If I wanted to show hundredths, if I had 14 hundredths, and as a decimal, that would be 14 hundredths right here. As a fraction, it would look like this: 14 over 100, 14 hundredths. So there's 2 ways to show them, as a fraction or as a decimal. When I deal with decimals, always think about money. I do. So 14 hundredths. Well, you can see that I have 1/10 and 4/100. So when I go to shade my model, if I know that I'm going to be using hundredths, I would use one of these, and I would shade one whole column, that's my 1/10, and then 4 more little blocks, my 4/100, to give me 14/100. So that's how you show decimals using a model.